Welcome everybody here to round number 14 of the 2014 NASCAR Spring Up Series season, as we're live from the Pocono Raceway in Pocono, Pennsylvania, Long Punch, Pennsylvania, for today's Poconos 400, 20 laps racing on the tricky triangle for today's race. And on the front row we have the number 11 of Denny Hamlin. Talladega winner will start on the pole in that FedEx Ground Toyota. Alongside is the Daytona 500 winner Kurt Busch in the 41. Something that Denny Hamlin and Kurt Busch has in common is they are both winners of 2014. And then on row 2 we have the 55 of Brian Vickers, his best start of the season in that Aaron Stream Machine Toyota, alongside the 42 rookie Kyle Larson in that Target Chevrolet. Row 3, great qualifying runs for these two guys, Martin Truex Jr. in the Furniture Row Racing Team and Tony Stewart in the Bass Pro Shop Chevy. And then on row 4 we got Jamie Mack, Jamie McMurray, and Jimmy Johnson in the 48. Running out row 5, completing the top 10, Kevin Harvick and Jeff Gordon. Here's a look at the rest of your starting grid for today's race at Pocono. Two new things. Joe Nemechek is now driving the 66 car. They have announced that is going to be this car, the 66, will be running the remainder of the year, either with Nemechek, Jeff Burton, or Michael Waltrip behind the wheel. And also, Parker Kligerman back in the NASCAR Spring Up Series. A one-race deal for Front Row Motorsports. Kligerman will drive this number 35 car this weekend. He will roll off from 39th place. Matt Kenseth and Brad Keselowski both has pulled away from third place in points. Dale Jr. Kenseth leads Keselowski by 16 points, but 79 points on Earnhardt Jr. Carl Edwards and Paul Menardi are top 5 in points. Down the top 10 is right now Kurt Busch, Joe Logano, Kyle Busch, Clint Bowyer, and Casey Kane. That is your top 10 in the points. Jeff Gordon, Ryan Newman, Greg Biffle, Jamie McMurray, and Kyle Larson. Denny Hamlin, Tony Stewart, Kevin Harvick, Eric Almirola, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. your top 20. So that is we are now pretty much past the halfway point in the regular season. Denny Hamlin, the pole center, and that is all for the pre-race news. We're going to send it down check side so we can get the most famous words in motorsports.
Drivers, start your engines.
And as the pace car will lead the field down on the track so they can begin and complete their pace laps. We're going to step aside and we'll be back to bring you green flag racing when we return to Pocono. We are back to Pocono getting ready to go green. 20 laps racing on the tricky triangle. The front row being held by Denny Hamlin and Kurt Busch. Both drivers trying to get their second win of the season and pretty much punch a hole in the ticket for them to make the chase for the 2014 NASCAR Spring Up Series season. But guys like Brian Vickers, Kyle Larson, Martin Truex Jr., Jimmy Johnson, Tony Stewart, all these guys starting behind Hamlin and Busch have not been in victory lane. Larson in the 42 has never been in victory lane in the Spring Up Series, but he has a fast Target Chevrolet, and looks for him and his teammate Jamie McMurray, who is starting 7th, to be very fast today. And we got some guys back here like Jeff Gordon, Kevin Harvick, Joe Logano, Brad Keselowski outside the top 10, or almost outside the top 10. They're going to be very fast as well. But it's Denny Hamlin on the pole, Kurt Busch on his outside, and they will lead the field down and get this race under the green flag. We're racing from Pocono. First guy who I saw jump out of line of 17 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Now Kyle Larson will switch lanes. He moves to the inside of the 41 of Kurt Busch, as Vickers will go by for second place. We are having some low frame rates right now. It does take about a lap or two. Probably take a second for this to get back up to it. Oh, we got trouble in the back. David Reagan in the wall. There goes the 51 of Allgaier. Boyer came up into Newman. They save it. Caution will wave early on in the race. Austin Dillon almost went into grass. Saved that trio Chevrolet. Coming out of the final turn to complete lap 1, and Stewart got sideways. Gordon went by to get a spot. So did Logano. Caution will wave though for the first time tonight or today, and a lot of damage on the 98. That is Josh Wise in that Phil Parsons Racing Ford. And damage on the Swan Race, or not Swan Racing, the Inception Motorsports is 44, driven by JJ Yelly. See how the damage on the 34, David Reagan, 27th in points, has had some good runs this year, but just can't capitalize on a good finish. A lot of front end damage on the 34 of David Reagan. Let's look up here and see if there's any more guys with damage. I know the 51 of Allgaier, he did spin out. That 51 of Justin Allgaier started 17th in that Sim Products Chevrolet. Let's go back and see what has put us under the yellow flag. And the first caution, the initial caution came out for the 98, the 34, and all those guys. I do apologize for the low frame rates. And all looks like Earnhardt Jr. in the 88 is going to turn David Reagan in that 34 car, and nowhere to go for the 98. See, the 51 of Allgaier got turned right there by the 15 of Clint Boyer. Ryan Truex in the 83 went around. There's Casey Mears in the grass. Dave Blaney trying to avoid all these cars spinning out. Looks like Earnhardt a little bit too aggressive here on the start, and we're only pretty much halfway in the first lap. Earnhardt started almost outside the top 30. He did start outside the top 25. And hard impact for the 34 and Josh Wise. Nowhere to go. Nowhere to go for Ryan Truex. Cole Witt in the 26 made some hard impact on 34. And while that was going on, we saw on the bottom of your screen a 51 of Justin Allgaier. He got turned by the 15 to Clint Boyer. Let's see what happened right here. And it's like Boyer kind of came up. Allgaier kind of came down. And it's like the 51 just got hooked in. He's going to hit the inside wall, rear end first, and see the damage on the rear end of the 51 of Allgaier. Justin Allgaier right now 30th in points. He's another guy who's had good runs going, has really done pretty well in qualifying this year. Just has not got the finishes he deserved, and this will be another result of him not having the run that he could have had. And there's the 98 of Josh Wise. He got the worst of it. And Kyle Larson is now in the lead. Did the 11 come down pit road? Yes, some guys did come down pit road. Under this caution, we can tell you that the 98 of Josh Wise and the 44 of JJ Yelly are out of the race. And the 41 of Kurt Busch is picking down the line. Oh, it's running second, right? Well, was running second. Now was going to restart round 10th place. Something's wrong with the 41 of Kurt Busch. Right now, Kyle Larson is your leader. Ricky Larson out in front. Brad Keselowski second, AJ Allmendinger, Kevin Harvick, and Matt Kenseth your top 5. Ryan Newman, Greg Biffle, Clint Boyer, Eric Almirola, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. your top 10. Denny Hamlin 11th. Kurt Busch was going to restart in 12th place. We've seen this a lot with a lot of the Hendrick cars, mainly with Casey Kane. We saw this with Jimmy Johnson. And so it looks like something's wrong with the 41 Stuart Haas car of Kurt Busch. We can tell you also the 34 of David Reagan has took his car behind the wall, and looks like the 41 of Kurt Busch will pull into his pit stall. Very, very unfortunate with the 41. So now Ryan Vickers will be in 12th place. Martin Truex Jr., Jimmy Johnson, and Joey Logano. All these guys came down pit road. Logano, McMurray, Ambrose, Stenhouse, and Jeff Gordon. Kyle Busch, Paul Menard, Tony Stewart, David Gilliland, Michael Annett, Casey Kane, Landon Castle, Carl Edwards, Austin Dillon, and Parker Kligerman. Joe Nemechek, Travis Kvapil, Michael McDowell, Reed Sorenson, Justin Allgaier, Casey Mears, Ryan Truex, Cole Whitt, Dave Blaney, and there's Kurt Busch in the 41. He has came back on the track. That is a good thing. We just got a report that the 41 had a loose wheel, so a lot of track position, can't say that word for some reason, has been lost for the 41. Now we got an issue with the 15 to Clint Bowyer. And is he blowing up? Could not tell the 15 was having some engine failure or having some public smoke coming out of the tailpipe of that 15, but looks like Bowyer might have the same issue that 41 had. Almirola too. Is he? Almirola come down? No, looks like he's gonna stay out, but Clint Bowyer is coming down pit road. So could it be something different from the 41 to the 15? Not quite sure. Here comes the 15 and Bowyer back out pit road. So, and Clint was one of the cars that stayed out, but now he might have just came down and topped off with fuel. But Kyle Larson is the leader. He did stay out along with the other 9 cars behind him. First car with tires is the 11 of Denny Hamlin. There's Clint Bowyer. That does not sound good for the 15. I'm not quite sure if you guys can hear this, but it looks like the engine might have just let go on the 15 of Clint Bowyer. 9th in points. Does not have a win. Not good for the 15 of Bowyer. But Kyle Larson coming out of turn 4. The pace car will make the hard sharp turn into pit road. And Larson will get us back under the green flag. We'll be restarting on lap 6 of 20. Will be 15 to go. And already making a move to the inside. Brad Keselowski in the 2, trying to go back-to-back wins. Trying to become the 3rd driver to do that. Kenseth and Edwards. And moving to the inside. Keselowski on the inside. Larson on the outside. And Brad will clear Larson off turn 2. Now Allmendinger in the 47 drives to the back bumper of the 42. And we have another caution on the track in the 51. Reed Sorenson in the 36 as well involved. As they're going to race back to the line, Kenseth on the back bumper of the 47 of Allmendinger. So issues once again when we went green. There's Clint Bowyer. He's not going to make it back to his pit stop. He's just too slow. Now Matt Kenseth on the inside of Allmendinger for 3rd place. Ryan Newman on the back bumper of the 20. And Brad will win it back to the line. Cole Whitt in the 26. Ryan Truex in the 83. He does have some damage. Reed Sorenson, 36. Looks like he was the guy who got the worst of it. And yes, it was Reed Sorenson who looks like caused a crash. And right on the front straightaway when we went green, turned Michael McDowell in the wall, came down into Allgaier. Sorenson hit the wall again and came down in front of Casey Mears. And look at Mears' car go in the air. Cole Whitt, Allgaier, and look who was back here, the 41 of Kurt Busch, and he did not escape this. He did get some damage. Made some damage with the 83 of 2X and also hit the outside wall as well. See right there, he turned McDowell in the wall, and McDowell went down into Allgaier. Once again, Allgaier's around, hitting towards that inside wall for the 2nd time today. See, Whitt got into the 13 of Mears. A lot of damage on 83 of Ryan Truex. And Landon Castle is now on pit road in the 40, and Austin Dillon has damage in the 3. We'll see if Austin Dillon has been in the crash, and yes, he has. And I saw Landon Castle on pit road, and Side Dillon in the 3 is going to turn Castle up in the outside wall. Dillon comes down, and there's Landon Castle. Oh, comes down into the 35 of Parker Kligerman. The 66 of Joe Nemechek ran into the 40 of Castle. There's Dillon spinning, there's Kligerman spinning, and Nemechek ran right into the 40 of Castle, and a lot of damage on the Hillman Racing number 40. So that's why those guys were on pit road. These guys stayed out once again, and Brad Keselowski will be our leader. Kyle Larson second, AJ Allmendinger third, Matt Kenseth and Ryan Newman your top 5. Kevin Harvick, Dale Jr., Greg Biffle, Eric Almirola, and Denny Hamlin your top 10. Denny was not able to make no gain on that one lap. We were green. Joey Logano, and there goes the 16 of Biffle blowing up. Greg Biffle in the 16 has blown his engine up. At 3M Ford Fusion, 13th in the points. He does not have a win, and looks like he is done for the day. Now we also got word that Marcus Ambrose has went to the behind the wall with a suspension issue on the Mac Tools Ford. Joe Nemechek is out of the race, and so is Ryan Truex in the 83. Reed Sorensen has lost a lap. Clint Boyer has lost 2 laps, and there's Biffle blowing up. So now that will move some of these guys. This will move Almirola to 8th, Hamlin to 9th, and Logano to 10th. Ryan Vickers, Jamie McMurray, Jeff Gordon, Kyle Busch, and Martin Truex Jr. will be your top 15. Landon Castle is still on pit road. And I don't know why we're still having some low frame rates. And now we're already past the halfway point in this race. So let's see if we can try this again with Brad Keselowski second in points, 16 points behind the 20 of Kenseth. But remember, some of these guys stayed out. Can they make it on fuel? We are past the halfway point in the race. And we just got word that Landon Castle in the 40 and Reed Sorensen in the 36 are now out of the race as well. And so it's Greg Biffle. It was a ignition issue on the 16 which blew the engine up, leaving us with 32 cars on the lead lap. One driver is 2 laps down. That is Clint Boyer. He'll be now in 33rd place. And now coming off turn 4, Keselowski, your leader, will get us back on the way on lap 11 of 20. Making a move to the inside, Ryan Newman in the 31, Kevin Harvick to the outside. They race off in the turn 1, and there's the 88 of Dale Earnhardt Jr. We are now racing off in the turn 1, and we are still green, so nothing happened right there. And battle for third, Kenseth on the inside for third place. This 20 car's been fast every single week, up there leading laps, trying to get these wins. Now moving by the 47 of Allmendinger. There's Ryan Newman in the 31. Oh, he gets in the back bumper of the 20. The 20's in the wall. The 31 is crashing. Allmendinger's involved. Caution will wave once again as the 31 of Ryan Newman. Michael McDowell's crashed. All guys involved once again. And a lot of damage on the 31 of Ryan Newman, who was up front. Great save by Matt Kenseth, though. Got it in the wall. Fell back to around 7th place. And there's Michael McDowell in the 95 on pit road. Looks like his day in that K-Love Ford has came to an end on lap 11. Let's see what happened. And happened when they were trying to get around the 47 of Allmendinger. Right here, Newman's going to give Kenseth a little tap right here. This reminds me of the 2010 race with Kurt Busch and Jimmy Johnson, which got Kurt really mad at Jimmy. Right there, Ryan gets into Kenseth. Kenseth tries to wheel that car. He hits the wall, but he saves it. Newman, though, gets turned by the 47 of Allmendinger. And Allmendinger drives away, but Newman not so fortunate as the 95 and the 51 is going to come in. Oh, Casey Kane just made a little bit of contact on the rear end of the 31. There's Michael McDowell taking his already hard impact. And there's the 51 of Allgaier. Runs into the 95 of McDowell. There's Colwitt driving by the in that 26. Now these cautions are helping leader Brad Keselowski trying to make it on fuel. But we got the top 4 has stayed out. Brian Vickers in the 55. He has came down pit road along with 6th place Denny Hamlin. So we should be going back to green with 5 to go. That'll be on lap 16 and 20. Can these guys make it on fuel? These caution laps, like I said, are helping Keselowski, Larson, Earnhardt Jr., and Kevin Harvick. First guy with tires and fuel is Brian Vickers in 5th. Denny Hamlin 6th. Remember, Kenseth stayed out as well. Logano, Almirola, and Gordon in your top 10. Paul Menard, Jimmy Johnson, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Kyle Busch, and Jimmy McMurray. Allmendinger, Gilliland, Truex, Austin Dillon, and Tony Stewart. Your top 20. Michael Annett, Carl Edwards, Casey Kane, Travis Kvapil, Kurt Busch, Dave Blaney, Casey Mears, Colwitt, Parker Kligerman, and Justin Allgaier. Clint Bowyer is, like we said, still 2 laps down. And now Ryan Newman and Michael McDowell are now out of the race, leaving us with only 31 cars on the track, but only 30 on the lead lap. Going back to green. 5 to go. Can Keselowski hold on? Will he make it on fuel? He has a win here back in 2011. Green flag is back out. And Brad looking for his 2nd win of the season. There's Brian Vickers and Dale Earnhardt Jr. making a move to the inside. Earnhardt on the inside, Larson on the outside. There's Vickers going by for Kevin Harvick. Kenseth trying to make it 3 wide. Yeah, I mean, Matt's coming back in that 20 car he got in the wall with. That did not hurt the performance out of that 20 car at all. And here comes Earnhardt in the 88. He's cleared Kyle Larson. And now Kevin Harvick will stay in front of the 55 of Brian Vickers for the moment. Again, I do want to apologize for the low frame rates we were having today at Pocono. And when I say low frame rates, I mean the lag we've been seeing. 4 to go. Brad Keselowski Jr. in the 2nd place. Who is faster at the line? A 56.67 to a 56.50. Earnhardt is quicker, and he is closing the gap on the 2 of Keselowski. Larson not going away so easily. He is 3rd. Vickers and Kenseth your top 5. And there's Polson and Denny Hamlin not far from falling outside the top 10. Tony Stewart in the 14, restarted 20s. He's up inside the top 15, or almost near the top 15. Back out to the front, the 88 of Dale Jr., all on the back bumper of the 2 of Keselowski. Remember, Earnhardt was the guy who gave Keselowski his big break to drive for him in the NASCAR Nationwide Series back in 2007. Now, look what's happening to Keselowski. He's won a Nationwide Championship with a many wins in this Nationwide Series, and he's now a Sprint Cup champion. Earnhardt all on the back bumper, pretty much pushing him off in the turn 1. And now the 3 wide, 4th place, Jeff Gordon on the inside, Kenseth on the outside. They both got around the 55 of Brian Vickers and Kevin Harvick in the 4. On board with Dale Jr. coming off turn number 4. It'll be 2 to go. Can they make it on field? Brad Keselowski took his first win of the year last week at Dover. And look at Joey Logano on the inside of Kenseth for 4th place. 5th place, my bad. And Logano will clear Matt Kenseth for the spot. Now Vickers back on the inside, trying to get around the 20 car. Great run out of the 55 of Vickers today. Ryan Vickers 22nd in points, and Junior's peeking to the inside. Is he going to make a move though? Heading off the turn 3, the tunnel turn. He looks like he's not really trying to make a move. I mean, he's there on the back bumper, no doubt, but it's like he's not, hasn't really tried to make a move, and he's all on the back bumper. You saw the two kind of wiggle down the little stretch right there. That's how hard, and right there the 88 is. He's pretty much pushing them in the turn, in the turns, and now they're coming off turn 4, and they will see the white flag. One more lap to go at Pocono for Keselowski. And we got one car coming down pit road in the back, the 43 of Eric Almirola. Well, he was actually one of the cars that stayed out. So it looks like he did not save enough fuel. And Earnhardt's right there on the 2 of Keselowski. And right up ahead is the 41 of Kurt Busch, 13 of Casey Mears. I'd be surprised if Earnhardt does not try to make a move. He would love to get his 2nd win of the year. Dale Jr. would. He's not making a move yet. Here he goes to the inside. Did he make his move too late? On the inside, battling for the lead in the final turn on the final lap. He won at Richmond, looking for his 2nd win today. Keselowski trying to fight back on the outside. It's going to be a giant race to the start and finish line. They're door to door. Earnhardt, Keselowski is going to be Dale Earnhardt Jr. winning the race here at Pocono. The most popular driver in NASCAR, Dale Earnhardt Jr., has grabbed his 2nd win of the year in a fantastic photo finish against the number 2 of Brad Keselowski. And great career best run for the 42 of Kyle Larson, getting a top 5. He'll be 3rd, and Jeff Gordon and Joey Logano will be your top 5 coming out of Pocono. Here's the official results. Matt Kenseth, Brian Vickers, Denny Hamlin, Paul Menard, another great run for that 27 car, and Jimmy Johnson. Your top 10, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, Jamie McMurray, Tony Stewart, and Ricky Stenhouse. Ricky Stenhouse getting a top 15. Martin Truex, Casey Kane, Austin Dillon, Carl Edwards, and AJ Allmendinger, your top 20. David Gillen, Dave Blaney, 22nd run for Dave Blaney. Great run for him. Almirola, Mike Lynette, Travis Quapple. There's Allgaier, Parker Kligerman getting 27th. Casey Mears, Kurt Busch, and Cole Witt. Top 30, Clint Bowyer got 31st, 2 laps down, and Ryan Newman on down to JJ Yeley. They did not finish the race. So it started out as kind of a wreck fest, but those final 5 laps were under the green flag, and we saw a great battle for the lead between Dale Jr. and Brad Keselowski. And it was Earnhardt getting the win, and getting the win that could very well put Dale Jr. in the chase for the Sprint Cup this year. The next couple of weeks, we'll be at Michigan next week, the Quicken Loans 400, and after that will be the road course race at Infineon. So we have a couple of great tracks coming up on the schedule, so we'll see you next week at Michigan. Here comes a celebration screen from the National Guard Chevrolet of Dale Earnhardt Jr. Goodbye, everyone.